So I think the focus might be on Israel, but the focus should really be on Iran and whether there will be attacks on regional oil infrastructure. That is really, other than weighing on sentiment, geopolitical risk weighing on sentiment after a strong rally, this really is the one event that we are looking for and which could determine a dangerous path for stock markets, for risk assets in general. There are some precedents in terms of these attacks, and we know, looking at the acts of war since the 1940s, that those which create an oil crisis, where there is a prolonged increase in oil prices, are the ones which have a long-lasting impact on stock markets. At the moment, there's no indication of that, but for us, that is the one risk event that we are looking for.
Okay, so we're looking out to see the impact on oil, which could impact wider risk assets. Frederique, thanks for your quick take on the situation on the ground here in the Middle East. Let's focus in on China, because as Sam was explaining, markets are closed. The big question for investors right now is, are we going to see those pre-holiday gains being sustained? And is the most recent round of RRR cuts, the moves we've seen from the PBOC as well, essentially going to be enough to firm up the economy and improve liquidity within the markets? What's your view?
So the monetary measures, the liquidity measures are certainly good for markets. But what really caught our attention is the comments coming from the Politburo outside of normal meeting times. For us, this shows a realization that the country needs a concerted, a coordinated effort to spruce up the economy. Valuations are still very cheap. The Chinese equities have been depressed or oversold for a very long time. So we have seen some very quick gains. For these gains to continue, we need to see a follow-up. We need to see more detail. And we do expect some of these details to come out in October and perhaps at the next Politburo meeting in December. But overall, we want to stay engaged.
Okay, so looking out, right.
Yes.
Sorry, Frederique, finish your thought on China there. That was important.
We get a lot of questions as to whether investors should chase the market. And we are already involved, and we are not planning on taking profits at this stage. But we are mindful that the US elections are a risk event, given how close the race is. Trump wanting to put some tariffs on Chinese imports, that could prove to be an interesting entry point for more Chinese investment, so long as we have more details on what's to come in terms of policy.